This is the third generation of the Honda Pilot, and the Honda Pilot was somewhat of a feminine, a more relaxed design. For the third generation, they've beefed it up a little bit. You might recognize this grille from Honda's truck, the Ridgeline. It has a very similar look to the vehicle. They've also beefed it up as far as angles are concerned. It's a really hot segment right now, third rows. A lot of car companies getting into it to give themselves a full line of vehicles. So does this measure up? Is it more of a boy toy than it was in the past? Rough and ready to go? We'll find out. Now, I like the front of this vehicle with the split chrome grille. The Honda sign a little big for my liking. It does come with 18s or 20 inches. Look at this Honda Pilot and then take a look at the last generation, second generation. This generation, second generation. You can see that they've beefed the vehicle up quite a lot and made it more aggressive. Now, this vehicle also has something interesting, but I have to show you that at the back. Now, looking at the back of this vehicle, yeah, you can see it's a Honda Pilot. Now, their engines are called Earth Dreams engines, and apparently they're powered by magic because this vehicle has no tailpipes. There is the Earth Dreams engine. It's a 3.5 litre, putting out 280 horsepower, the iVTEC. It does have a 9-speed transmission in the upper trim levels. This is the elite trim level. It also has a push-button transmission. That's a huge boo from me. Some push-button transmissions are okay, but this one has a completely different button in every gauge. And I find that's really hard to find your way from reverse to drive unless you're actually looking. The idea of putting different buttons in there was so you could feel your way around the transmission. It's not something that excites me. It sounds good, it drives well, but I'd like to apply my different drive modes with something other than that push-button system. Lots of pluses and minuses on the inside. Really nice thin TFT in your center stack gauge here. You can change the information on the center stack. It gives you everything you want to get out of this vehicle. It does fuel economy. It does the miles per hour on the top. You can change it around whichever way that you want it. Lots of buttons on the steering wheel. Cool. Love the infotainment system. Very big infotainment system here. It has the higher trim levels have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The same infotainment as other models on the tech and safety touchscreen, nice graphics, nice navigation system as well. The navigation system here is provided by Garmin. Not sure what this thing is. My grandmother told me it was a CD player. You may see it in some older vehicles. Oh, look, a DVD Blu-ray player, which is for the rear entertainment screen, which you have here. You also have the wireless headphone option in the back. Heated and cool seats here in the front. I'm going to turn this air off because it's making lots of noise. Really well organized here. Wireless charging pad, as well as everything is within eyes view. A few things that I like on the inside. Very soft touch everywhere that you touch. Above the center line here. Not so hot on the black plastic. The black shiny plastic gets scratched over the years. The other things I'm not too hot about on the inside is the passenger seat seems to have some legroom issues when you slide it all the way forward if you have somebody that's very tall in the back seat, which we have done with this vehicle. At the same time, everything is informationally simple, laid out nice. I could actually live with this vehicle on a day-to-day. Love the Ridgeline, love the Passport, and love the Pilot as well, because everything is so simple. Lots of power outlets, two here, big space in the center where you can put a woman's purse or other things that you are trying to stow away so they don't get in anybody's way. Feels a lot like a minivan in size on the inside here, but it has the designs of an SUV. Some inside updates for 2019. High seating position, push button start, new instrument panel is very pleasant to look at. More accurate is filtering down into the Hondas. The two-door storage area on each door, that's really cool. So you have an upper and a lower. The armrests, is a downside for me. This style of armrest can easily get broken if kids step on it to get over rows, although it is nicely height adjustable and you can change that. But think these small arms can get broken very easily by those little kiddies as they step over into the third row. Let's talk about that third row. Totally usable. Getting in between the second and third row, nice push button. Captain's chairs in the upper levels, so you can actually go between them and you don't have to fold the seats down. You can only get a small pano roof in the upper trim levels. Downside to the pano roof is because the entertainment system sits right here, it's what, a 2-foot roof this way. I think that could be better. Competition is probably better in this vehicle as well. All right, road time test in the Honda Pilot. There's a few things that bug me. I've mentioned it like 20 times in this review, but the first one that bugs me is that push button shifter. But it does have a DS for drive and sport switch. Here we do. When you go into sport, it shows an S on the dash there. And so now I can use the paddle shifters, which is into manual 3. Really smooth drive in this vehicle. This is the elite version of the vehicle. It's comfortable. Like when you brake in this vehicle, it seems to come to a very glidey stop. It's just nicely balanced. It's like I've had a whole car full of kids in the back here. I really wouldn't be worried about coming to a stop and kids flying around, soccer balls flying around in the back. It's very smooth. Now there's no mistake that the Honda Pilot is heavy, and it actually sounds fairly good. Like I'm in first now and really racking it into that menu. I'm going to go back into automatic so I can concentrate on talking to you at the same time. But it sounds good on the inside, but it's a heavy vehicle. As you turn, as you move from lane to lane, as you accelerate, as you brake, it seems to be quite heavy. However, it is nicely balanced at the same time, and the engine's adequate for this size of vehicle. Remember, the same frame as an MDX, but this is bigger on the inside. It has more sheet metal than the MDX. There's a couple of things, even though I keep mentioning the fact this vehicle is heavy, there's a couple of things that are important. This vehicle is super capable off-road. That's one of the things that Honda failed to communicate about Pilot, period, is the fact of how capable off-road the vehicle was. They have done a better job in this generation of the vehicle. They're telling us and showing us and giving us stats about how it works off-road. And to be honest with you, what I've done with this vehicle off-road, you're unlikely to ever do if you own a Honda Pilot. So let's just face it, if you think you can do it in this, you probably can. It's not a case of mind over matter, it's a case of the machine is super capable. New Honda Pilot starts around $32,000. If you want more than the Honda Pilot offers, there's a perfect step into the Acura MDX. This vehicle will cost you about $1,900 if you want to step up into the all-wheel drive from the two-wheel drive, and every trim level that you go up is about another $3,000. You can get it all the way up to around $50,000 if you start to load up the vehicle, and then you might start to consider a luxury SUV, which will come with a lot of those things as standard. Totally usable, very practical, looks much more aggressive and better looking for the 2019 models onward. I think Honda have made some good improvements to a vehicle which is a staple of their complete lineup. Thanks for watching our video. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe to the nice little button down the bottom, and we'd love you to come back and visit us regularly, or our websites, either ourautoexpert.com or testmiles.com.